Hi, Bot Roast and I are going to be giving advice, and I guess I'll turn her on for this. So I asked people on my Instagram story questions that they wanted advice on, and I do want to preface this by saying that I don't get good advice, and I have made a lot of mistakes, and I have, many personal failings. Oh, and I'm not going to edit this YouTube video, which is maybe a personal failing in itself, but to edit a YouTube video is so hard, and it takes so much time. And I was thinking about how do people do this? How do people have the energy to do this? And I was thinking to myself, you know what? A lot of times people who edit YouTube videos don't have that's part of their job, right? Well, this is not my job. I hope you're not going to be that loud this whole time. So anyways, advice: I would not listen to me. I have very bad ideas, no matter how funny they are. But let's absolutely get started. How should I start a Tinder conversation? I have not been on a dating app in a while, and I don't think I think it's been a very long time since I was on Tinder, but I know on Bumble you can see their sun sign sometimes. What I like to do, no matter what their sun sign is, I like to say, wow, that's so brave that you're just kind of putting out there that you are a Scorpio or something like that. And it actually rarely works. Actually, it mostly doesn't work because they're always like, what's wrong with being a Scorpio? And you're like, this right here is what's wrong with being a Scorpio. Am I right, Bot Rose? Now she's choosing to be silent. How to drink more water. Sometimes you have to put stuff in the water because water is boring by its own. Okay, now you're giving too much. I do not recommend this. I think this is probably unsound advice, and I think this probably will eventually have medical consequences for me. But I really like coconut Pedialyte, and so I'll take a really big glass of water and put tiny bit of coconut Pedialyte in there, and then it tastes like coconut and it's good. But I don't do that a lot because I guess I could Google what happens if you drink too much Pedialyte, but I just fear it, intrinsically, I fear it. How to convince yourself to brush your teeth. I think you should just do what you can. If you can't brush your teeth twice a day, don't brush your teeth twice a day. I don't. I brush my teeth once a day because that is what I can handle. That is manageable to me. One time I saw something about spoon theory. I don't know if it was a TikTok or a podcast episode, or maybe it was a TikTok of a podcast episode, but these women were talking about how, a person has so many spoons in a day, and for some people, to get up in the morning, it's 1 spoon, to shower, it's 1 spoon, to brush your teeth, it's 1 spoon. For me, I would say it probably takes 3 or 4 spoons to brush my teeth once a day, so I'm definitely not gonna do it twice. So just, do what you can handle. Do what you can handle. Do whatever you want. Everything's meaningless. I feel lost and I have no direction or energy to even try and make it out. How do I even start? Well, I think that's what it feels like to be alive right now. At least to be alive under 30 right now. Maybe people above 30 don't have direction either. But first of all, you should be kinder to yourself because I think probably you have more direction than you think you do. And even if you don't, that's fine. And I think kind of this idea of having to have a direction, as in when people say you have direction, that means which career you want to go towards. And it's having a career sucks no matter what it is. That's my stance on careers, actually. And so I think it's okay if you don't have a direction, because I don't want to go in the direction of a career. I don't want to, absolutely work a 9-to-5 for 5 to 7 years and then be promoted to middle management, ? No. But I think wanting to get better, and I think wanting to start to motivate yourself and wanting to, work your way through the maze that is life is a direction in itself. Right, Bot Roast? How scary would it be if Bot Roast turned herself back on? And I think I said this in the last YouTube video, there is a try me button. I don't know what the try me button means. It's on try me right now. I was gonna keep track of where I was in these questions, but I ultimately did not. How do you keep your cats alive for so long? Mine keep dying. Do you have anything to say? Being one of the, sit with me, dead cats. Okay, the try me option didn't work. Oh, I can't remember if I already said this. I'm not gonna edit this YouTube video. I think I did, because I said it's hard to be alive and edit YouTube videos. Okay, that's like a lot of movement. Oh my God. You know, I always used to get pot roast hair in my nose, but now I feel like I'm getting like synthetic hair in my nose. How do I quit my career without my parents being mad at me? If I knew, I would have. You know what I mean? I think I let my mom, I really hope my mom doesn't see this. I think my mom took up like a lot of space in my brain for a long time, and I was like making decisions based on how she would react and she would feel, but this is my life. And she doesn't go around making choices based on how I feel, So I would try to maybe, it's so hard to do this. Try and work on letting your parents take up less space in your brain. Bot Roast gets it. Or maybe she doesn't. I don't really know. It's so interesting that the try me option has minimal or even no movement, and yet on has kind of nonstop. Pot roast. The best ways to use up milk. Macaroni and cheese, I guess. I made Kraft macaroni and cheese, and I didn't have milk, so I just used pasta water. And you put 4 tablespoons of butter in there. I didn't know it was that many. Did you? I'm trying to think. Oh, you know what I eat a lot of is cereal. I love cereal. I guess it also kind of depends if it's cow's milk. I have not had cow's milk in a long time. Cow's milk being, and this is problematic, kind of the best one, but you're not supposed to. I don't think so. Eat it. Other than that, maybe just put it outside for a possum or a raccoon. I don't know if they can have dairy. Maybe ask your local vet and then put out milk for the local possums, Best, worst job interview advice. I am not a good, I have not done well at job interviews. But I do ultimately have a job, right? So I'm trying to think of the last interview. Oh, my worst advice is when they ask you a question that you don't know the answer to, you can just say, I don't know. I actually did that twice in the last job interview that I was in, that I have for this job that I have now, which is not YouTube. Because I think if I was interviewing to make YouTube videos, I need a break. And they asked me a question, I think I'd probably be able to answer all the questions, but I also don't think that's gonna happen. So yeah, I think you should, when you don't know something, you should say, I don't know. And I think because people need other people right now, like there's not enough people working. Okay, the most eloquent sentence I've ever said in my life. They're kind of gonna take what they can get, right? And if they're like, oh my God, the idea of professionalism is so fake to me. Do you know what I mean? It's like, be professional. Why? For what possible reason? So anyways, yeah, if you don't know, say, I don't know. And if you're not having a good time, be like, I'm not having a good time. And one time, I went to this interview, and I was asked questions that were like above the level of knowledge that I had, but in the job description, it didn't say that you had to have like this upper knowledge level. And so, I was like, oh, I don't have any experience with that. And I felt really embarrassed about that. And then when I told my psychiatrist, she was like, you know what, you should not feel embarrassed about that, you should be mad that they wasted your time. You should be mad that they told you didn't need to know that kind of stuff. And then ultimately you did. And I was like, wow, I can see why they gave you a degree. I really can. I really, really can. Should I act out at my grandma's funeral because my family ghosted me when my mom died? Yes. Yes, you absolutely should. There is nothing like causing a scene at a family event. One Thanksgiving, I was wearing, I don't know how to explain it. It was like a vest and it had like synthetic fur on it, and I caused an absolute scene. And to me, that's glamour. To me, wearing synthetic fur and upsetting your family, causing a scene, making a riot, that's glamour to me, you know? My cat has mats. What do I do? Well, I think maybe, I think the vet is hard to afford for a lot of people, especially for just mats. So I think maybe watch some YouTube videos. Not this one. I think you're gonna have to get someone smarter than me, which is probably not hard to find. And you can buy clippers on Amazon that are not that hard to use, but I would definitely watch YouTube videos on how to use them. And they're not that expensive, I don't think. But I'm sure you can also probably ask like a local shelter or something, because people want to help people take better care of their cats. I almost said people want to help people help their cats, which is like, sounds like a brochure or a pamphlet that you would see in a guidance counselor's office. How do I cure cancer holistically? I'm actually not gonna touch that question with like a 50-foot pole, because if I had a lawyer, who can afford a lawyer, by the way? They're so expensive. It's like, how do you have clients? I'm sure they would be like, hey, don't answer that because this is the internet and people will listen to what you say. But if I didn't answer, I would, I'm not gonna even make a joke answer. How do I tell him that a man at the bar gave me $20 never to speak to him? I don't know who him is. But I think men paying for your silence is really powerful, and I think I would go out and I would spread the good word, and I would say, hey, men are buying my silence. And then I would kind of offer it to other men, like, hey, would you as well like to buy my silence? Like, and that could even be a career. That could even be a direction in which you go, And I would not be embarrassed by that. I think men have probably definitely wanted to buy my silence, but I don't go to a lot of bars, so they're just blocking me, I think is what they're doing. What's the most unprofessional way to ask for a raise at work? Here's what I would say. I would say, I would wait for them to give you a task that is like unreasonable or not in your job description, and then say, I don't get paid enough to do that. One time I went out to lunch with my group, or like my department, and everyone ordered off the like lunch specials menu, and I like really wanted this like big pasta thing that was kind of expensive, and I felt guilty about it. For what reason? And the guy that was sitting next to me, my coworker, and I am gonna bravely say that he is my friend, because we did go to college together and we did live next door to each other in college. He was like, do you get paid enough to feel bad about not ordering a lunch special? Like ordering something that's more expensive? And I was like, actually, I don't. So think about how much you get paid, and then and then only do tasks according to that. Only do tasks that you think are worth that. If they give you a task that you think is worth more money, ask for more money. I don't quite remember why I dragged this over here, but I'm absolutely addicted to these skulls. Okay. How to cope with grief. If I knew, my dude, if I knew. I think that you just gotta keep on keeping on. You gotta keep trucking. You gotta, is there a third? Keep on. What did they used to say in like 2012? Oh, keep calm and carry on. Is that what it was? I think I had a poster that said that in my childhood bedroom. Fudge, what was the original? I think you just gotta keep riding the grief wave. Should we turn bot roast back on? I think you just gotta keep riding the grief wave and doing the best that you can, and, you know, kind of being nice to yourself and saying, hey, it's okay that I can't handle a lot right now besides staying alive and keeping going. You know what I mean? Like, I'm giving myself a pretty large break in terms of letting myself off the hook for a lot, because you know, in my heart and in my head, a lot of space is being taken up by pot roast grief, and I think that's okay. And I think over time, maybe that space will get smaller in my heart and my head, and I'll be able to handle more. I think that advice made no sense, but I do hope that it helps someone out there. Maybe who's someone who's crazy, you know what I mean? What's a good last name for Sarah? I hate mine, and I'm trying to rebrand. I think an incredible last name would also be Sarah, kind of a Sarah kind of deal. And I also do want to stress that someone told me they thought I would rebrand after Pot Roast died. You can't be that loud this whole time. And I was like, rebrand is what? And also, rebranding as being crazier is a rebrand. Okay, no matter what people tell you, no matter what they tell you, it is a rebrand. It really is. Should anyone read instructions ever? You know what? You know what actually I think is? I think you should read instructions if it's, I don't know what is on my upper lip. It's like synthetic cat hair. My face itches. I think you should read instructions if something is going in your vagina, or if you have to put a child in it, you know? I would read instructions in both those cases. Otherwise, I think you're probably just good to coast on intuition, vibes, gut feeling, you know, just whatever makes you do something when you don't have instructions. Again, an absolute nonsense sentence, but I do think people who are crazy will get it. I do think that. What's your opinion on therapy? I think everyone should go to therapy. I don't think I've had enough of it. But yeah, I think if I had gone to more therapy early on, maybe I wouldn't have bot roast, you know? But actually, I don't want to live in a world where I don't have bot roast. So, but yeah, I think therapy is great. And I think, I actually could not find anyone to do like grief counseling here in Kansas City. So I had to go to like a place where they had therapy interns, ? And it's a little bit less expensive. And she tapes our session, she films it on her iPad and then shows it to a person who's in charge of her. I don't know. So then it's like more than one person is like listening to your experience and giving feedback. And I guess that could kind of feel bad to some people. I don't want to tell two people, but I mean, you don't have to be there when the second person finds out. You know what I mean? I'm about to be a 24-year-old divorcee. What's my next step in life? Oof. Well, first of all, I think that being a divorcee is very glamorous. To me, that's very glamorous. And I think that, you know, sometimes after divorce, you get really, really cool. Like, I don't know how to say her last name, Anna Marie Tendler, I think. She got truly endlessly cooler after she got divorced. And also, you know who got divorced? They didn't get divorced, their husband died. But I think also Celine Dion got cooler after her husband died. And that's probably a problematic take, but you know, my mom says that everyone has a bad first marriage, and I think she's right, you know, as much as that pains me to say. So I would just take a break and say, okay, now I'm significantly cooler than I was before I was a divorcee. And, you know, you'll find your way. You know, you don't have to know what you're doing. You just have to keep going. You know what I mean? One time I saw a stand-up comedy special of a woman who said that in Matthew McConaughey's, that was creepy, in Matthew McConaughey's biography, autobiography? Which one is when he wrote it? He said this quote that's like, just keep living. And that's true. And you know, I don't know if I would credit Matthew McConaughey as saying that, because I'm sure someone smarter said it before, but I do like the way that he phrased it, you know? How do I stop going on awkward tangents at work and weirding my coworkers out? Well, you know, I've never done that. Never stopped is what I mean. I think there's something powerful about weirding your coworkers out. I think, you know, you can kind of say, I think there's not a dominance, but I don't know any dominance synonyms. I think there's something powerful about saying, hey, I'm weird, and if you talk to me, I'm gonna be weird, so I wouldn't talk to me, or I would be okay with me being weird, you know? Because I don't know. I don't know. I'm always going on awkward tangents at work, you know? You shouldn't be embarrassed or ashamed about it. You should just find coworkers that can deal with it. Do you know what I mean? Okay, you can tell I'm not liked at my job. Okay. What to do when you're about to cry in public? I do cry in public. One time I got this bad review. Actually, it was literally the Thursday before everything shut down for COVID. So it was like, you know, that Friday in March 2020, it was the Thursday before then. I got this really bad review at work, and it upset me, and so I cried through the whole thing. And my boss kept being like, okay, it's a man, that's why it was terrible. He kept being like, you know, we should probably take a break, and because I was like so I would just cry and not be embarrassed of it. And even if you are embarrassed of it, still cry, you know? Like, what are they gonna do? Tell you to stop? Well, maybe if your mom's there, she might tell you to stop. But you don't have to. You don't have to stop. How to respond to being ghosted by a guy. Last time I got ghosted, I think I didn't do anything at all. I think I just, like, he just never responded to one text, and then so I just never, and this was a very long time ago, I just never texted him. But I did find out, and I'm sure people knew about this before. Yeah, I'm sure this is like common knowledge, but I didn't know. You can remove people who are following you from Instagram. Like you can make them unfollow you. I don't know why I'm explaining. I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I made him unfollow me. I'm not joking. It was like the afternoon on like a one day, and the next morning he tried to follow me again. My personal account is private, and I deleted or declined or whatever, and he tried again. So I would just try to make yourself off limits. No, because then that's like, just do nothing, you know? Just do nothing at all, and just don't respond to him, and just, why do men do that? Why are they like that, you know? If you had $1 million and you said, potroastsmom, why are they like that? Couldn't tell you. Could not tell you, even for $1 million. How do I get a boyfriend? I would not have an animatronic cat is what I would do. That's why I have an animatronic cat, to protect me from a boyfriend coming here or even entering my life. I would put on jeans, and I would go to Home Depot, and I would pretend like I couldn't find what I was looking for, you know? Because men like when you act like that, and they're very simple creatures. Very simple. Some would even say idiotic, you know? But, you know, you shouldn't say that in Home Depot. You should, yeah, just look lost, you know? I think that could go really, really well for you. And you're like, well, what if I am a man? And I'm like, I think it might still even work for you, you know? All different kinds of men in Home Depot. How to grow my God complex to your level. Bat roast? Do you have any advice for this? You know, tragically, I was born like this. This cannot be taught. This can only be, I was born like this, you know? I'm a little bit tired of the noises. I'm kind of getting a little bit tired of it, right? So I'm gonna just shut it off just for a bit. Thank you for being understanding. Look at her little pause. Back to business. Back to business. How to make new friends as an adult. Jeez Louise, Bot Roast, your hair. If I found out that Bot Roast had dander and was like shedding around here, like shedding dander around here, I would not be surprised at all, you know? I guess it is spring, so maybe it's just regular allergies. Maybe I didn't have the windows open today. Did I already read the question? I don't think I did. Terrible ideas to make money to pay DC rent. Oh, I did read a question. I'll go back. You know, I've always really wanted to see one of those people in real life who, like, opens a trench coat. I'm not going where you think I'm going, and they have watches inside. I've always wanted to see one of those people and maybe even be one of those people. So, you know, if you can't afford your rent and you become one of those, contact me, because I'd love to buy a watch from you. I really would. I really, really would. How to make friends as an adult. I have no idea. I have one friend that I have made as an adult, and I have been an adult for what feels like a very long time. But ultimately, does college count as being an adult? No, because you can meet people in college and it's not that hard. I've been out of college for 4.5 years, I think, maybe. And I've only made one friend in that time. And how we met actually was, you know how on Bumble you can set it to like Bumble friends, not date? I set it to Bumble friends, and I went out with this girl, and I don't know, this was my Bumble friends experience. I don't know if this will happen to you. Excuse me, my experience was it was women in open relationships who wanted to be with other women or explore with other women, and they didn't know how to approach it from like a romantic standpoint, and so they just became friends with other women, which I don't think is how you're supposed to use Bumble friends. But anyways, I met this girl, and yeah, she is in an open marriage. I don't know if she wanted to be romantic towards me, but we're ultimately not romantic towards each other, and we're just regular friends. So, you know, do Bumble friends, but do be prepared for the opportunity that it might be a woman in an open relationship trying to hook up with you, starting from a friend standpoint. That's what I would do. No, that is what I did, actually. How to tell someone you don't like their dog without straight up saying it. And then this was on Instagram, so it was like a little response to like the question sticker. And then the second one, they added a second one. It said, "Oh, I forgot to mention the dog is dead." You know, I hate to say it, because I know sometimes you have a truth that needs to get out of you, and it needs to, you know, you're bursting at the seams. You need to release your truth, but I would probably keep that in. I would. That's probably what I would do. I did not like my childhood dog, which is, I think that's probably a red flag for a lot of people, and it should be, you know, because that's kind of like the tip of the iceberg with me. But I did tell my brother once, because my childhood dog was like, I guess, my brother's pot roast, even though, is my brother really capable of love like that? I think that's up for a medical professional's opinion. You know, I don't think I get to decide, but if I could decide, I would say no. You know what I mean? And he got really upset, and so I'd probably just not tell them. And I mean, I hate to say it, but the dog is gone, right? And so I'll probably just let that one slide, let it absolutely go. But if they get another dog and you don't like that dog either, I'll maybe bring it up. My brother has a dog now, and he named it Paul Revere. And I do want to stress that that is PR, and I did have my PR, which was pot roast, and I brought that up, and he was like, I never even thought about that. And his dog is say it with me, nightmare. And I have brought that up, and that actually went about as bad for me as bringing up the childhood dog that I didn't like. You gotta be really careful when you talk about other people's pets. You really, really do. You really, really do. I'm trying to think of, did I skip one? I've just been kind of skipping around my list. Oh, people kept asking me for tax and financial advice. If I knew about taxes or finance, you think I would be doing this? You think I would be sitting on my floor with my animatronic cat telling people to say I don't know in job interviews? Is that what you think? That cannot be what you think. Anyways, she's on, but she's not moving, which I think is kind of a sign that it's over for us. Okay, love you, bye.